Apparently, Boris has buggered about a bit with Priti Patel's treatment of Johnny Foreigner and graciously allowed the ungrateful little bastards back onto Britain's soil for a strictly limited period of time, of course. This time, it's to allow them to serve us, their natural masters, by driving our stuff about. They get to bask in the glory of Britain's roads, much less congested now that the fuel is so scarce, and we, their overlords, get to enjoy the Christmas we deserve. But just in case those ungrateful Europeans don't understand the honour they've so graciously been afforded, in case they prefer to work on the continent with better pay and permanent contracts, in case they misunderstand the privilege of being allowed to drive on the left-hand side of the road, to use verges as toilets, and to spend hours sitting in their cabs trying to get in and out of Kent, just in case they don't get it, I've written a letter to a mate of mine, Eric, who lives in Kent. It's a sort of plan B for the festive season. So, here's what I wrote. Dear Eric, his full name's Eric English, but because we're friends I get to call him just Eric. Dear Eric, I wonder if you'd mind doing me a favour. It will take up about a day of your time, I'm afraid, but if you could see your way to helping me out now that DFDS has laid you off and you're enjoying your retirement at the ripe old age of 47, I'd be really grateful. I was sorry to hear about the redundancy, by the way, but still, at least you'll escape the national insurance hike. Small mercies, eh? Since you live so close to the continent, I wonder if you'd just hop on a ferry for me and nip across to Calais to do a spot of shopping a bit nearer the time. Does DFDS still give you a travel discount? Sometime in mid-December would be great. By then we should be quite unable to buy anything to eat here in the north except old shoe leather and the occasional out-of-date parsnip, so you'd be doing me a great favour. I've prepared a little shopping list for you. It's not too extravagant, and I will, of course, reimburse you. The whole lot shouldn't cost more than the price of a fun-sized Snickers bar by then. Anyway, do you think we'll go back to calling them marathons? It's funny how we're the only country facing such dire shortages, isn't it? Thank God for Brexit, that's what I say. Otherwise, we'd be in danger of going soft like those European wimps who just have to pick up the phone to have everything delivered to their doorstep with no substitutions, just as ordered. And all while they stay wrapped up and snugly warm in their gas central heated apartments. Pack of snowflakes, I say. So anyway, my list is as follows. Most importantly, can you please get us a large turkey? Bernard Matthews might have cancelled Christmas in Norfolk, but I'm pretty sure the frogs have other ideas. I'd also like some port and Stilton. Yes, I know Stilton's made in the UK, but nobody's delivering here, so it's all in France and Belgium. Even better, it's all being aged in the lorry parks. So it'll be nice and blue by the time you get to the hypermarket. Marvellous. My good lady is particularly fond of Spanish sherry. No, it's okay, you don't need to go to Spain. I'm pretty sure they'll have that in the French hypermarkets too. Obviously we'll need some potatoes, sprouts, parsnips, carrot and sweet, and some eggs, milk and flour for the Yorkshire pudding. I'm told they're changing the name of Yorkshire's finest food export as there's none to be found north of Brittany. We'll need some candles too, if that's okay. There aren't any in the shops here because people have bought them all up in preparation for those splendid evenings by candlelight, sat around the family piano wishing someone could play once the telly goes off and there's no electricity to charge their devices. I'm not sure what you're driving these days, but if there's room we could do with a large dolly tub and one of those big copper things on a stick that our grandmothers used to beat the washing with. I'd lend you my van, but I can't source enough hay for the horse to get it down there, let alone all the way to Calais and back. Make sure you travel with a foreign ferry company, by the way. I'm told British firms have taken to siphoning diesel out of vehicles in the hold whilst they're sailing across the channel. It's not exactly cricket, but what can you do? I think I'll be able to source my own rope for a washing line. The local fishermen are selling it off cheap now that their industry's closed its doors. They all hung up their nets and stood around celebrating while Farage and Boris scuppered the fleet. I hear that the Cowes Ferry Company is thinking of lashing the derelict trawlers together side by side to make a temporary bridge across the Solent from Gosbert to the Isle of Wight, now they've stopped running the boats for lack of fuel. I'm thinking of buying a boat myself, you know. They're going cheap these days, and since the Scots are planning to uncouple Hadrian's Wall and float off to Scandinavia, we're all going to get that much more coastal quite soon. I can source the cloths to make the sails from charity shops because with so many COVID-19 deaths here in UK, there are loads of old sheets and blankets going cheap. I'll need to buy them quick before winter though, or they'll treble in price as folk panic buy to ward off hypothermia. Bloody snowflakes. Finally, if you could rent a postal box in Calais and order some games from America that the kids could use at Christmas, that'd be great. It's way easier to get American stuff to Europe since they have a trade deal, and a whole lot cheaper too. Yes, I know I should be happy to pay more and wait longer for goods from the US of A in honour of our special relationship, but the way inflation is rising on domestic products, I'm afraid I just can't afford it. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. It's all worth it to know that we've got blue passports, decent quality ones too, since they're made in France to EU standards. So it's all good, really. Best wishes for a festive season. Your mate in the north, Stuart. Well, I'm afraid it didn't go quite as well as I'd hoped. This was Eric's reply. Sorry, Stuart, but I don't think I can help. I don't have a Kent access permit, so I'm frightened to leave the county. I might never be allowed home again, not since the whole place was annexed by Michael Gove to build lorry parks. Maybe you could try moving to Scotland. Then, when they float off to Denmark, you'll be able to order it all yourself. They're in the European Union, you know. Yours, Eric.